As a black female executive at the Trump Organization, I can no longer remain silent about the repeated and reprehensible attempts to align my boss and his family with racist hate-mongering groups, campaigns, and messaging. As the daughter of a man born in Birmingham, Alabama, who rose against all odds to become one of the most established and respected doctors at Yale University, there is no amount of money in the world that could buy my loyalty to a family that subscribed to such intolerant and bigoted ideologies. The Trump family that I know is, without question, one of the most generous, compassionate, and philanthropic families I've ever had the privilege of knowing and the honor to call friends. They have been incredibly loyal to me and to the countless dedicated people they employ around the world, hiring more minority and female executives than any other company for which I've ever worked. I do not vote based upon the color of my skin, nor the signature on my paycheck. I judge my friends and forge my allegiances from direct personal interaction and moral character. That said, there is no higher barometer by which to measure oneself than the one continually set by this family and their spouses, and I should know. Like many Americans, I have struggled with substance abuse and addiction. The Trump family has stood by me through immensely difficult times without hesitation or concern for their own reputation by association. They continue to trust me with every aspect of their lives and the lives of their families. They invite me into their homes and welcome me at their family gatherings. For the past 6 years, I have held an executive position as it pertains to the distribution of their charitable funds, and they have charged me to identify worthy and altruistic missions. I could not be more humbled. This is the Trump family that I know.
All right, that is Lynn Patton, and she works for Mr. Trump. She happens to be a black American, and she put together a long 5-minute, I think it was 5-minute, YouTube video that has now begun to go viral, defending her boss against allegations that have been made against him in the campaign. Anyway, welcome back. Glad you're with us. Hour 2, Sean Hannity Show. It's Indiana primary day, and joining us now is the leading Republican contender for the presidency, the frontrunner, Donald Trump. How are you, sir?
Hi, Sean. That was so beautiful from Lynn. I hadn't heard that. I was just listening to it on your show, and that is beautiful.
You have got to watch this. And she did not apparently seek anybody's permission, and she put this together. And it's somebody, I guess, that you not only have hired but helped in your life, and she just felt compelled to do it, I guess, because, I don't know, she feels you've been great to her.
She's an incredible person, but I had no idea, and I'm just listening to it. Was that a video, or was that?
It's a video. It's on YouTube. I'll send.
I'll
make sure I send a link.
She's so amazing, boy. Isn't that nice? That's a nice.
Well, you don't get a lot. You don't get to say it wasn't that nice a lot during campaigns, do you?
No. I'm used to negative ads all the time, phony negative ads that were put up by Club for Growth, who asked me for $1 million. When I said no, then they started doing negative ads. It's unbelievable.
What do you think about Ted Cruz just went off on you today? Sure, you've heard it. I think your campaign actually sent out a statement about it. What is your reaction to it?
Well, you know, he's losing so badly, and he can't take losses. He can't handle pressure, and he's not good under pressure. I've watched this during debates and everything else, and he is unhinged. I mean, he's totally unhinged. And this all started on Fox and Friends. I did the show, and they showed me something, Brian and Steve and, the group, they showed me something that was, frankly, I thought inappropriate, as said by the father. And I think most people agree with me. And then in the meantime, as you know, there was a picture a few weeks ago, and it was all over the place, about Lee Harvey Oswald and his father a few months before.
Was that verified ever? I saw that there was something on the internet.
It was a picture put in, and they wouldn't put it in if they could be sued. That I can tell you. They're very big professionals, and it was put in. And by the way, and Ted Cruz, I don't think, denied it at the news conference. But they don't do things unless it can be verified. But if that were true, what was he doing having breakfast or whatever they were doing 3 months before the JFK assassination? Why are they doing that? Why is the father meeting with Lee Harvey Oswald?
I have no idea, because I've seen it, but I never thought it was going anywhere. I don't know the truth or veracity of it. But let me move on to some important issues here. Indiana, If you go back about 2 weeks ago, you were down 8. The latest polls have you in double digits, Real Clear Politics average. What changed in Indiana?
Well, I think the fact that I went out there and campaigned. I have a lot of friends in Indiana, but I went out to Indiana. I campaigned hard. The people are incredible people. And I had many, many stops. And I gave a speech last night that was so well received, but I gave 3 yesterday. And I gave, many over the last couple of weeks, and I think they got to know me, and they know I'm going to bring back jobs. And the carrier deal is a disaster. They're losing tremendous amounts of manufacturing, and Cruz and people like that can never bring it back. First of all, they're taken care of by the special interest groups. They're all bought and paid for. And they're taken care of by special interest and everything else. So they're never going to bring it back. Whereas I'll bring back the jobs, and I'll keep the jobs that states have, that our states have, and that includes Indiana. But you look at what happened with Carrier, the way they viciously left Indiana. And, that won't happen with me at the top, that I can tell you.
You even think that you might be able to get Carrier to come back because it's going to hurt them financially. In other words, they want to go build their plant in Mexico. Ford is going to do that, build a plant in Mexico. And then they want to be able to bring their cars back to the United States after using all the cheap labor down there. And those are American jobs that are walking right out the door. And it's beyond frustrating to me. I think in part government has caused this because government has taxed business into oblivion, and they've incentivized businesses to try and find ways to do things like this. But there's got to be a better answer.
But, John, if a company is going to leave a state like Indiana, great state, if a company is going to leave a state like Indiana, then there are consequences, okay? And they're going to move to Mexico. Not if they're going to move to another state, but if they're going to move to Mexico, there are consequences. And the consequences are that in order to sell their units into the United States, they've got to pay tax. Otherwise, we're going to lose every company we have. And they're going to pay tax. And the United States is going to either make a lot of money or the company's not going to move. Now, a lot of the companies won't move. If I went to Carrier, like before they made their decision, and it's still probably not too late, and I said, look, it's wonderful that you're going to move. Enjoy that nice hot weather and all of that stuff. But here's the story. You're leaving a great state, Indiana, and if you leave, we're going to charge you 35% on every air conditioning set every air conditioner that you put in, unit, that you put into this country, we're going to charge you 35%, okay? They will not even leave, Sean, okay, because it throws off everything. They won't even leave. We won't even lose companies anymore. Nabisco's leaving. Ford is leaving. We have so many companies that are leaving, many from Mexico. Now, then you have the other alternative where China is just taking our jobs, okay? They're just taking our jobs. But it can all be stopped, and it's so easy, and a politician can't do it. They don't have the ability, and many of them are paid off by campaign contributions.
I wanted to ask you, let's go to the state of the campaign. If you win Indiana, for example, if you got all 57 delegates tonight, the winner of the state gets 30, then it's sort of winner take most, not winner take all, but so you could get as many as 57. If you do, you'd be 184 delegates short. You still have Ted Cruz and John Kasich in the race.
Right.
They appear to be...
For whatever reason. Okay.
Well, mathematically, they can't get to 1237, but they're stating very publicly their job is to stop you at any cost.
And isn't that ridiculous? And yesterday they came out with a poll, Rasmussen, that I'm beating Hillary Clinton.
You're up by 3, yeah.
And Cruz can't beat her, and Kasich can't either. Once they start with negative ads on Kasich, he cannot win. Can't win.
Now, when you get to this point, and I've looked at recent polls, you have numbers that look really good in Oregon. You're up by 34 points in California. You're up in West Virginia. You'll win New Jersey. And, and then I've even saw one poll that you were up in Nebraska. So I'm really not sure what the purpose is except to cause disunity in the party. How do you unite a party now that it appears, if you win tonight, that you would get, again, a lot is hinging on tonight, but if you win Indiana tonight, as the polls suggest, how do you unite these people that are, quote, never Trump or anti-Trump? Well,
Sean, everybody is calling. People that I cannot even believe are calling because they said such horrible things. They're all calling, and they want to come onto they call it the Trump train, right? But they want to come onto the team. And, in fact, one of them, I said to him, an important person, I said, I'm honored to have your support, but how can you do that after what you said? And they said, no problem, Mr. Trump.
You're a politician. No problem.
No,
I could just switch my mind.
Because they're politicians. That's what they do. They talk. But the guy said, no problem. It was sort of amazing to me. But they're already coming on board, Sean. Look, we're doing really
By the way,
well.
the first minute, if you become president,
right,
the first minute that you're in trouble, they'll be the first people to turn on you.
Yeah, those are usually the ones that they're the last in and the first to turn.
The last in and the first out, whenever it benefits them, right?
You understand life.
I've interviewed you many times, and the thing that concerns me the most and why I think this is a really important election for this country, because I don't know if Hillary gets the White House, we have a third Obama turn. I don't know if we ever get to the point where we can fix things. You know, we have 1 in 4 American families where not a single member of the family is in the workforce because they can't get jobs.
Right.
That's 95 million Americans out of the labor force.
We've got to bring our jobs back, Sean. We're letting go of our jobs.
Desperately.
And by the way, if Trans-Pacific Partnership is signed, it's going to make NAFTA look like a baby. NAFTA has destroyed our country. It has destroyed our manufacturing. It has taken away jobs. And it was signed by Bill Clinton, by the way.
Well, and a lot of Republicans supported it, too.
True. That's true. But he was still the president.
You gave this foreign policy speech. You even used a teleprompter. I know you generally don't ever even have notes from what I can recall.
It's true.
And I've watched you give a lot of your rally speeches, et cetera. They seem to be extemporaneous. But you wanted to lay out a very important foreign policy, and the main, or the crux of it, or the main point of it was we've got to put America first because America's crumbling and other people need to step up. And they basically we have allowed ourselves to pay for everything.
In many ways, militarily, we take care of other countries. We don't get properly reimbursed. With the policemen of the world, the countries, all of these places are absolutely taking advantage of us. I mean, we are taking care of the military needs of countries and protecting them, and we are not properly reimbursed. And in fact, many of the people, if you look at NATO, many of the people are just disregarding their agreements with us.
Yeah, and they're not paying their fair share.
No.
So if you get the nomination, you're the only one that now has this path. Tonight, if you win, you're over 1,000. You may be as few as less than 200 to go. Then when do you turn your attention to Hillary Clinton?
Very soon, because if I win tonight, and I hope I do, I mean, who knows? But if I do, it would be a great honor. I spent a lot of time there, and I have so many friends in Indiana. But if I win tonight, it's over. It's over. And, you'll have two people. They're stubborn, and, they want to maybe keep going. But you saw my response to Cruz. I guess you saw what I said in terms of, so it's crazy. Well, I mean, what they said is very nasty. But when you look at somebody who's so unhinged under pressure, does he even have the temperament to be president? The answer is perhaps not.
Let's talk about how hard you think a general election campaign will be. If you get the nomination, you will have beaten 17 big names in the Republican Party.
Yeah.
17, we're talking about governors and senators, people that are supposed to be professionals. You've been in politics less than a year.
Yeah.
So what have you learned from the process, first of all, and then how do you pivot and how do you think? Have you built in your mind a strategy, tactics to take on Hillary?
I have. I don't want to necessarily reveal it. It's sort of like I say I want to be unpredictable in the military. They say, no, tell us exactly how are you going to beat ISIS?
Yeah, when are you going to bomb ISIS?
That's right. What day and what time of the day will you start bombing ISIS? And are you going after their headquarters, Mr. Trump? I mean, all of these things that Obama answers. It's so sad when you say it. But I will tell you, I will beat Hillary. You see the poll coming out. The Rasmussen was a great poll, and others too. I've had numerous good polls coming out. Because people are starting to hear my message, and once they hear my message, there's no way they can go for crooked Hillary Clinton. And, she's crooked, and there's no way they can go. And that's her nickname. And it's a sad nickname, but it's true. You just have to look at what she's done, and we'll see what happens. But remember this. They see the message, I'm going to bring back jobs. We're going to have a strong military. We're going to get rid of ISIS. Got to get rid of them. And I was against the war in Iraq, as you know. But I was against the war in Iraq, going to destabilize the Middle East. But we have to get rid of ISIS. They made a mistake in Iraq, a terrible mistake going there, and a terrible mistake, Sean, the way they got out. And I know you talk about that a lot. The way Obama got out of that war was a disaster.
Let me ask this last question, and we got to let you go because voting now ends in just a couple of hours. We'll be on 10 to midnight tonight. What does Donald Trump get Melania Trump for Mother's Day? What do you get her?
Well, I told her that she's the greatest, and she's going to be a great first lady. But you have to give me a little more time because I have been all over the place.
You've been busy. Maybe after Tuesday you'll have some time to think about it.
I asked for more time because I just got
well,
back.
Mother's Day's not till Sunday. You've got 5 days. You're good.
That's true. I just got back. I literally just got back. I'm sitting on my desk, and I have got a pile of papers. It's a mile high.
Mr. Trump, thank you as always. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Sean. Thank you.